It involved two children, one at the Salvation Army store, one at a Goodwill store, but jurors only convicted him of attempting sex offenses with the victim at the Salvation Army location.
So I think the jury was faced with the dilemma of he must have done something wrong. That was a wrong thing to do.
Defense attorney Paul Bidwell says he's disappointed with the jury's decision, but considering Stephen McCanless was charged with 5 sex offenses in 2 locations, he's relieved his client was convicted of only 2 offenses in 1 location. He says McCanless picked up a child that was in the Salvation Army store and made a huge mistake.
The evidence indicated that Mr. McCanless had blew what they would call up north a raspberry on the child's rear end. It was demonstrated in an interview kind of like this. Now, I think the dilemma that the jury had was whether or not that's an appropriate thing to do to a child that's not your own.
Bidwell says the jury deadlocked on 1 major sex assault charge, causing a series of questions to be raised by the jury. The judge allowed the jury to remain deadlocked on that charge. Jurors found McCanless guilty of attempted sexual assault and taking indecent liberties, clearing him of 2 other charges.
They did that, at least as far as I can tell from the charges that he was actually convicted of at this point. I think the interpretation of that is that he did not physically harm the child.
Now, McCanless has been free on bond prior to this trial. He was placed in handcuffs and taken to jail with no bond. The sentencing phase of the trial will be held sometime next week. He faces from 10 to 14 years in prison. It's up to prosecutors to decide whether to try him on that sex offense charge that left jurors deadlocked. Reporting live in Asheville, I'm Cheryl Barber, News 13.